Mute yourself so that it becomes clearer, kind of.
Okay, start recording. Yes, ma'am.
So good afternoon, students. So today is 30th April, and as per schedule, today is supposed to be our last class. So and we are at the last. We started off with Unit 4. Then we finished Unit 4, went back to doing Unit 1, 2. We completely finished the revision. We are on Unit 3. These are the 3 last bits that are left, and with this, Unit 3 revision will also get done completely, and we are done for the semester. But we are always available for you. Maybe it may get extended, we don't know, but as per the earlier schedule, today is the last day. And if we get any info, we will post it in the groups, and then you all can join back if we are continuing. As far as English is concerned, with these 3 bits that we are doing, that is conducting meeting, formal letters, and the soft skills and the value orientation that we do today, we have completed the syllabus for semester 2 and also done a thorough revision of all the 4 units. So you are technically ready for your exam, and we will be posting the summary and the worked out exercises of all the 4 units for you all to prepare for your exam. So today the topic that we are doing is conversation, and in conversation we will be doing conducting a meeting. So what are the important elements that you need to take into consideration while conducting a meeting? Now keep this Zoom meeting also that we are having, this online classes is also a kind of meeting, right? So when I'm taking you through the different aspects of conducting a meeting, you will see how it. Somebody has to mute yourself. I can hear somebody speak. So when you are conducting your, when I'm taking you through this elements of conducting a meeting, aspects of it, you will see how it applies to our Zoom classes that we were having using this platform, our online class. So okay, so meetings are conducted by organizations, by offices, even in classes, okay. It can be done weekly, monthly, quarterly, and it is done to deal with certain issues, take decisions, make plans. And now in our case, these meetings are even to conduct classes. Okay, so see how things, what was limited to companies, organization, offices now has extended. Now online classes are also a kind of meeting. Now what is the first important thing is, what is the purpose of a meeting? Now first is, you have to identify why you are having the meeting and what is the result, what is the expected result of the meeting. So what are what are some of the reasons why people conduct meeting? Okay, meetings are conducted for delivering information, for sharing information, and also for collecting information. So in our situation, look at these meetings that we've been having since 15th using the Zoom platform, our online classes. It is to conduct classes. This is to share information, okay, educational information. Now every meeting, once you have identified the purpose of the meeting, you should have an agenda. That's the next thing. Now the agenda is the list of items or issues that are going to be discussed in the meeting, okay, and always make it, keep it limited. You can't have long meetings. So if you have an hour-long meeting, then you should only cover, you should keep time for only those many items or issues that can be discussed in our hour. For example, our Zoom classes are for 40 minutes. Yes or no? Okay, 12 to 12:40 we have. So when we are planning our English class, we can only put in that much that can be covered in 40 minutes in a realistic way. We cannot push in too many things. So once you have the purpose of the meeting and the agenda, you must identify. The next thing is participants. So you must only invite and identify and invite participants that are necessary and relevant to the meeting. For example, this is a first year class. There is no point in inviting final years here, is there? Unless they have a backlog in the second semester. Do you understand? Okay. So you need to identify and invite participants for a meeting only if they are necessary, not for numbers or not to show that, okay, I had so many people in the meeting. And then Also make sure that the people who are attending the meeting, every participant has something to contribute to it. For example, in this meeting, I am your teacher, I am giving you some information, and all of you all who are attending this class are taking information, and then if you don't understand, you will be asking questions, you will be making your contribution, so everybody, whether it is the facilitator, here in this case me, or the participants you all, should contribute to the effectiveness of the meeting, otherwise it is meaningless. So you had purpose, you had agenda, you have identified the participants. Now you move on to the preparation, okay? You decide on the date, you decide on the venue, and then you decide on the time of the meeting. Do you see that happening in the Zoom meetings? Okay, that we are having the date, 30th. Then you have the venue. Of course, this is online. Okay, so you need to be at your computer. You need to switch on your computer. And then the time of the meeting. Okay, so we put up those little posts saying that there is the English class at 12 to 12:40. We tell you what the class is about, so you know what, so you come mentally prepared, and then we also prepare ourselves, and that's how it happens. So that is how the classes are happening. So this is conducting meeting becomes relevant, revision becomes relevant in this time, because I'm able to give you these examples. But whether it is in an office or whether it is in a company or organization, this is how it will be, okay? So you prepare, you decide on the time, the venue and the date, and then inform everybody in advance, and also tell about the agenda of the meeting 24 hours in advance. You just cannot say there is a meeting, come. Always there is a lot of preparation involved. So the participants, the facilitator, everybody should have a 24 hours window to prepare themselves for this meeting. Now the next thing is, there are certain principles that you must follow while conducting a meeting. That first one is, all the participants should turn off their mobile phones and keep it on silent or vibration. So you already know the time, you already know the duration of the meeting. So whatever things, you must put off everything else off for that 1 hour, so you are completely available for the meeting. For example, 12 to 12:40 is your English class. You cannot have anything else happening during this time. You get what I'm trying to say? So you need to give your 100% to the meeting. That is what it means, okay? And also disallow any kind of electronic communication during the meeting. It is a very, formal thing. Even whether it is a classroom situation, meetings are always very formal. So the decorum must be maintained. You cannot take calls, you cannot, interrupt going out to take a call, nothing. You should switch off your phone or put it on vibration. Tell the people that you're not available for this amount of time, and then concentrate, and because you're supposed to contribute to the meeting, okay? And the other thing is, one of the most important principle is, you respect each other and encourage each other. You cannot shout at people. I know you must be seeing the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, or your assembly proceedings. That is also a meeting, but that doesn't follow any of the meeting principles where, you have ministers and MLAs throwing things at each other, chappals, bikes, coming to the well and shouting. Those are not the principles of a meeting. Actually, it is conducted with great dignity and decorum. Alright? And then also, there will be a question answer time, where you can, because every meeting will have an agenda, then there is discussion, and then there is resolution. So you need to clarify your doubts when it is thrown open for discussion. You should not keep quiet, and you should not also just raise questions or doubts to create problem. It should be so that because a meeting is arranged with a purpose. No meeting is arranged without a purpose. There is a plan. So there is a purpose. So you should contribute to effectively either planning or sharing information or gathering information. Whatever is the agenda, contribute towards that. So the meeting principles are very important. First of all, maintain decorum, contribute and ask relevant questions and contribute to the discussion, and maintain the most important thing, switching off, keeping your mobile on silent, and not using electronic items during the meeting. The next important thing is the meeting facilitator. So you always have a chairperson or a facilitator who, you know, holds the meeting together, who chairs the meeting. Okay, for example, here it is us doing this class for y'all, or in the college when we have a staff meeting, it would be the principal. When we are having it at the commissionerate level, it could be the joint director or the commissioner himself. Or if it is the CM having a meeting with his cabinet, or the CM addressing the public, then he's chairing the meeting. Now we have a prime minister who's all the time sharing with the public his Man Ki Baat. So he is the one who is the facilitator. So a meeting should always have a facilitator, and the facilitator is somebody who knows the agenda and the meeting principle. They should be able to not control, in the sense not allow discussion and all. They should know what is the agenda of the meeting, and they should know these are the principles of the meeting, and what is the purpose of the meeting, and is all the discussion and resolution, you know, working itself towards that conclusion. All right, it is not that like the example of meetings going wrong would be our Lok Sabha or our assembly meetings, where, you know, often it is adjourned. Why are meetings adjourned? Because no resolutions, no discussions are happening. There is unruliness and things are going out of control. Okay. The other thing is time. Most important thing is time. Okay. So usually when you send out the agenda, you will also tell the date and the time. So like, for example, for us it is 12 to 12:40. So we need to restrict our discussions to this time only. You cannot extend the meeting. Maybe in case of you know, very important decisions, you could go, but then you take consensus from the participants. Are they available for extending the time? And then you have to start on time and end on time, and periodically check also if every agenda item in the agenda is getting covered. Okay. And flexibility, yes, in case, you know, some important decision needs to take, there was a big discussion, then you allow flexibility. So that time, you can also have somebody keeping time to tell the chairperson or whoever is chairing the meeting that, you know, you're running out of time. And then the actual conduct of the meeting, it is open by the chairperson by giving the agenda, the ground rules, and then one item at item number 1, then you go to item number 2. Like for example, today we have conducting a meeting, which is first, then you move on to formal letters, and then you move on to soft skills, and then you will move on to value education. So that is the plan, and we will continue with that plan. We won't move. So that's the agenda. And I have my time limit for this, so I will finish that, then we will move to the next item. So that is very, very important. And don't stray from the agenda. What is not on the agenda should not be discussed. There is a last point always that says any matter with the permission of the chair. So if there is time, then only something extra can be added. And then the very important thing is minutes. You should have somebody writing the minutes, the discussions, the resolution in detail, and then at the end of the meeting you have the key items, whatever is discussed, and then you read it out so that no point is missed, and then take everybody's signature so that it is final. Okay, so nothing else can be added after that. Then the last thing would be to conclude the meeting. You conclude the meeting by once again checking if all the resolution, discussion, everything is decided. Then you announce the agenda and the time and the venue for the next meeting. For example, today we are saying we don't know if there is a class tomorrow. We will let you know if there is a class tomorrow. Otherwise, today is the last class. Okay? So you always must conclude by what is going to happen next. And then, if necessary, another important thing is taking feedback or evaluation. Either it can be an oral evaluation. Is it all right? Was it okay? Is there something we can do better next time? Or you can also give chips of paper to the participants where they write the feedback or evaluation. So I hope you understood how it is. So now you all will, this is when once we reopen, maybe we will do a role play of conducting meeting in groups of 5 and 6. We will do this in class. So you will get a feel of how important it is, because you will, when you go out, you may not conduct meetings immediately, but you will be part of meetings. So you need to know the do's and don'ts of conducting meeting. I hope you understood how important it is to behave, the decorum and all the elements that are, or aspects that are important to conduct the meeting. Now we will move on to the next part of today's agenda.